again. It's Ben here from the Pride of Villa. Today we're going to be grading the Premier League teams as of 2019 and 2020. Now, you may think we've done this before, and technically we have. But I felt that was just for this season. For me, I wanted to make this video also covering as of whole more of the teams and teams that are in the Premier League this season. I wanted to cover them as a whole and just say a bit more about them rather than just grade them on their performance for this season. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to give you a bit of information about them, what I think of them, and we're just going to grade them along this chart. So if you are going to enjoy this video, please leave a like, subscribe, turn on notifications so you never miss out on new content. Be sure to check out fatalgrips.com. They sell the latest and best innovative gaming accessories. And if you use our discount code PRID on Villa, you'll gain 10% off all your purchases and save a bit more money. So when you want to go and buy some food, you'll have that money in your pocket. So without further ado, let's get started. So, we're going to start off in alphabetical order. We're going to start with Bournemouth. AFC Bournemouth, actually. Kind of like Bournemouth as a city. It's nice. It's above the sea. It's nice. As a team, I don't think they're doing much. I think they've got some good players. Callum Wilson, Josh King, Harry Wilson, but I believe he's on loan, unfortunately. Ramsdale in goal. They've got some good players, but most of them are just filler, just nothing you really want to talk about. I think Eddie Howe's a really good manager, one for the future. Again, he comes with his problems, but that is pushed aside. If I'd have to give him a grade for where I think they are, I think they're good. I know some people would agree that they're Premier League quality. I feel they are. I think they've proven their position here. They may not have many of fans, because they're from Bournemouth, but yeah, I don't think they're a bad club. I just think they're there and they make up the numbers in the Premier League. But I'd like to see them stay up. As we're recording, just don't know what's going to happen for the rest of the season. So hopefully they'll stay up. If they go down, it's a bit of a shame. Yeah, let's just hope they stay up. So I've given Bournemouth a good. Next up, we've got Arsenal. I'm going to give Arsenal a great. I actually really like Arsenal. I do follow them a lot more than I probably should. I just love the players that they produce. Not just in terms of the ones that they've got now, like Aubameyang, Lacazette, Leno, Tierney. But in terms of their young players, they've probably got the best youth academy that I've seen. Bakary Sacco, Joe Willock, Emile Smith-Rowe, and Gabriel Martinelli. I know he's not, a youngster from their youth academy, but he is a great talent, a serious talent. I think it's just a really big club. Obviously, they're massive in the FA Cup. They're trying to get back into the Champions League. They've had a really good history with Arsene Wenger. Maybe not as much now with the changing of Unai Emery and Mikel Arteta, but I think they're on the path to getting back there. It may take a bit of time and a bit of reformation with the players, but I'd like to see them carry on back into the Champions League, so I'm going to give them a great. Next up, we've got Aston Villa. Now, I'm going to give them... let's not try and offend people. I'm going to give them a great... Oh, that was Brighton. I'm going to give them a great. If you're judging them on this season, I think, personally, they deserve to go down. I don't think it's really been one specific part of it. I think it's been a mix of everyone's. But overall, Aston Villa is a massive club. We are a Premier League quality team. We are a Premier League team. We don't deserve to be in the Championship. We don't deserve to be any lower. We deserve to be where we are. And I'd like to think in a few years' time, when we have properly got our footing back in the league, we can challenge for top 10, top 6, and maybe top 4. Who knows? But obviously, we are years away from that. Right now, we are in a fragile state. But it's just a case of everyone needs to come together and work as a team to get us over that line and let us carry on for next season. So I'm going to give them a great. Their history is massive. Obviously, European Cup champion winners. Not a lot of clubs can say that they've done this these days. No one in the West Midlands has, apart from us. We're massive in history. We deserve to be in the Premier League, and hopefully we can continue that on next season. Next up, we're going to go to Brighton. I'm going to give them a bad. Nothing about Brighton, says to me Premier League. Their players are poor. They've only got one or two good ones in Neil Maupay and Matt Ryan. The stadium's not to my liking. Fans are poor. It's just a really. It's just a bad team. They're just not Premier League quality. They don't have much of a history. And I don't think they compare to a lot of the teams. Considering last season they were very, very close to relegation. I think they were only just scraped it then, and I think, to be honest, they're doing a bit better than they should do. Um, it's just you'd expect them to do a little bit better, make some better signings, but I just think it's been really poor. And there's just nothing much to talk with Brighton because they don't do much. They're always just going to be there in the league. So I've got them at bad. Next, I'm going to move on to Burnley. I'm going to put them at all right. I don't think they're a bad team. I don't think they're a great team. I think they just made the filler for the Premier League. Sean Dyche is a really underrated manager. As much as as you can say, the team is rubbish. He does provide his magic, and I've seen them do some great things in the past few seasons. Obviously, gaining Europa League position and top 10 again this season. They are a good team under Dyche, but I think without him, we could see a drastically different season for Burnley. So I think they need to be a little bit more respectful of that. In terms of the players, they're just not producing much, not saying much. They've got Nick Pope. They've got people like. Oh, it's the striker. I can't think of his name. It'll come to me another time. You can leave that in the comments if you know. They do produce good players. It's just, again, nothing much to talk about. They're not doing anything, and they're just going to be there in the middle. So I've got them at all right. Next up, we got Chelsea. I'm going to put them at great. Again, good club. I feel like last season when they had Sarri, it was unfair of him because they got into the Champions League, which is what they wanted. It may have been through the Europa League, but they accomplished that. Got third place, I believe. So he'd already secured the Champions League. And I don't understand why we hated him. His play style may not have been great, maybe a bit too tippy-tapping, it may have been a bit poor at times. But it's a good foundation. I think the team they got now is quite impressive, honestly. The amount of usage they're getting from their youth players instead of having to sell them and bring in better players because of their transfer ban. They've really capitalised on that and created some good players. It's just really one for the future again to look for. Honestly, Frank Lampard's first season in charge of Chelsea, only 2 years of management for me was the wrong decision. But it's how they go, club legend. So I can guess you can see why they did that. But again, it's just one for the future. But hopefully they can do something a bit better to make great. Next up, we've got Crystal Palace here. I'm going to say them as bad. I don't think they're really that great. The team's really poor. Apart from Zaha, there's nothing much to say about Palace. They're a rubbish London team. Fans are pretty rubbish. You never hear anything of Crystal Palace because they don't do anything. They are, again, just another team fulfilling the Premier League. Roy Hodgson's not way out of his depth because they're actually doing fine, but he's past his best, and I don't think you can achieve much out of a Crystal Palace team. So I've got them at bad. Everton next. I'm going to put them at all right. I think I'm going to take into account the form they've had this season. Obviously they've got Ancelotti as their manager, which is a massive save from the board to have a manager of that stature managing your club. Players-wise, not really saying much. Really poor. They do need an overhaul in the summer. Check out the Mighty Blues. They do a really good channel on Everton. They just don't do much for me this season. They're just really underwhelming, really disappointing. Playing against Liverpool, it just shows the lack of quality they possess, but hopefully they can turn it around and restart again next season. Leicester City, I'm going to put them at great. They've really changed it around after a poor few years with Claude Puel, I think his name was, the previous manager. Brendan Rodgers has done his magic. He's obviously given more light to great players in Vardy, but elevated that level even more. James Maddison, selling Maguire and bringing in good players like Soyuncu and Ozzy Perez. They've done some really good business. They've got really good players and for their position right now, they go be in the Champions League, which is a massive ask from them. Yeah, can't wait to see what they do in the future. Hopefully, they do sign in some good players, and keep your eyes on them. Next up, we got Liverpool, and obviously they're going to go in the elite. For me, it's the best team in the world right now. I think all of their players are really good. I think recently they've been dipping in form. And the likes of Van Dijk and Salah and Mane really haven't been living up to their potential, especially Van Dijk for me. I think against Watford, he was one of the worst of players on the pitch. I know everyone likes to say Lovren, but I think Van Dijk's defending was shocking. Obviously, they won the Champions League last season. They're gonna hopefully win the Premier League this season. If not, so they can do it again. But they've been a really good team to watch this season. Maybe one or two more players I'd like to see bring in. I don't think Firmino's as great in that forward role. I'd like to see someone a bit better, maybe Timo Werner. I think they should have brought in Ziyech, but he's off to Chelsea. Again, he's just one to watch with the future. Jurgen Klopp's doing a brilliant job with them. Definitely deserves them. Well, I would say deserves Manager of the Year because I've got no candidate for that. But yeah, Liverpool are just a good team. That's all we can say about them. Next up, we've got Man City. I'm going to put Man City in great. I don't actually think they're elite. It's all because of the money, really, they get. If we took that money away, we're going to be seeing a different team, obviously. But because they got the money, they've got the high premium players. They've got Kevin De Bruyne, who's be the best player in the world. He's perfect in his role. No matter where he plays, he's got good passing, good shooting, he's got good mindset to be attacking, but also a bit more defensive. And he just elevates the quality of the team that is quite subpar this season. Performance-wise, they haven't been great. They've done some really disappointing losses to teams like Norwich, Leicester, Man United in the double. I think it's really a shame that they've done that. Because I don't think they're a bad team. Obviously, as we've said, they've got great players. I was actually a bit of a fanboy a few years ago, but I guess that's what you do when you get the top quality players. You just want to watch them. I think looking at it now, they're just not really at Liverpool's level for me. But yeah, we can only wait and see what's going to happen with them. Next, I've got Man United. I'm going to put them in good. They're obviously not what they used to be. Ever since Ferguson left, it's not been the same. It's shown. But they've got some decent players. I think Bruno Fernandes has definitely saved their bacon. He's a tremendous player, and is just like De Bruyne, he elevates the quality of Man United and really dampens over the clouds that they've got on them. Again, it's nice to see that they've got the money so they can actually invest it hopefully a little bit better. I don't think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's a great manager. I think tactically he's poor, he's inept. And I think it's really just the players that are saving him. But there's always room for improvement. We can say that. Hopefully we see what Man United do this season. Obviously they're not going to get Champions League or Europa League, so probably the worst to start the season. Next up, we move on to Newcastle. I'm going to give them a alright. I think they are Premier League quality, but again, similar to other teams, I just don't think there's much to talk about Newcastle. They aren't doing anything. I think Steve Bruce has done a lot better than what was expected of him there. It's just nothing much to talk about Newcastle because they're not really doing anything. You're not going to see them in a few years achieve much. So just expect them to be on the mid-table. Don't really have a problem with them. They're just there to make up the numbers. Next up, we're going to move on to Norwich here. I've got them at alright again. Not doing much. They look like they're going to be relegated if the season is to continue on. Which is a bit of a shame because I actually don't think they've been the worst team. I think for the majority of it, I think Aston Villa have been. I know we're a Villa channel, but you got to say it, Villa have been poor. I think Norwich do have some good players in Campbell, Pukki, goalkeeper. I forget names of it. Doesn't matter. They've got future stars in Max Aarons as well, who was linked with a Tottenham move. But I just think it's one of them. They always do is they go down, get a bit of a rebuild, back up to the Premier League, come back, and then just go straight back down. I think that's always going to be Norwich. But hopefully they can change around at some point. But for now, I'm going to put them at right. Next up, we've got Sheffield United, and I'm actually going to put them at good. I remember at the start of the season I said they're not Premier League quality, and I still think that. But for me, Chris Wilder deserves Manager of the Year. He has really changed the team around, giving them a potential top 6 finish for the season, which I know Wolves achieved last season, but I think Chris Wilder's done it in such a convincing fashion. The players, nothing much to say about them. Nothing really that strikes me as the players that I'd like to see in our team. Um, but I just think it all comes down to they played well this season. They've got a really solid manager, and I think that's what saved their bacon. And I think that's what's actually made them a lot better than they should be. Because if without him, I'd probably say they're bad or even rubbish. Chris Wilder has saved their bacon. Next up, we've got Southampton. Put them in all right. Again, haven't done much. Obviously, they had the record-breaking loss to Leicester 9-0. And ever since then, they've changed it around. They've produced some better form. Ralph Hasenhüttl, I think, is okay at best to see in terms of a grade. They have got some decent players in Danny Ings. That's a bit depressing, isn't it? Just say Danny Ings. But you get the gist. They're not a bad team. Again, just fill up the numbers for me in the Premier League. Next up, we've got Tottenham. I'm going to put them at... I'm going to put them at good. Again, similar to Man City, I feel that they've been massively underwhelming. I think for a little bit, Mourinho did look like a good option, but has now really gone back, and I don't think he's going to last that much longer. Players, they have got good players, obviously, not just in, their current first team like Harry Kane and Lo Celso, but in their youth products like Oliver Skip, I believe, and Ryan Sessegnon, sorry. Not really a fan of Tottenham, to be honest. I prefer Arsenal as the bigger London team. I just don't see much with Tottenham. I just don't feel impressed when I watch them. I just don't feel much when I watch Tottenham. It's just a good team. Really need improvement. I think they need a better board. Daniel Levy's really not doing his job and doesn't deserve his position, in my opinion. But yeah, there are plenty of YouTubers who do talk about Tottenham a bit better, so go check them out, but I've got them at good. Next up, we've got Watford. I'm going to put Watford at rubbish. Simply put, I don't like the players. They've only probably got for me one good player, and that is probably Doucouré. Apart from that, I don't think any of the players are good enough. I think they're all championship material. Fan-wise, rubbish. There's just nothing of Watford that's good to talk about. I just think they're rubbish. Troy Deeney is a muppet. Nothing outstanding to say with Watford, and I think that's where they deserve to be. Next up, we got West Ham. I'm going to say they're all right. I think time after time they've been disappointing. They've gotten worse. The massive signings that they made, I think a season or two ago, have not proven to work, and it's just showing the quality and their current position in the league. I think some players like Declan Rice and Jarrod Bowen are shining lights in the team, but apart from that, there's nothing I could say good about West Ham. Don't like them as a team. I think they're poor. I think performance-wise, they're rubbish. Just nothing really worth salivating about West Ham. And finally, we've got Wolverhampton Wanderers. I'm going to say they're great. Yep. I think Wolves great. If I wasn't a Villa fan, I think I would support Wolves just because I go to college in Wolverhampton. So, it's like my second town. It's like my second home, really. But I love watching Wolves play. I do follow them really a lot. I've got mates who are Wolverhampton fans and they love to talk about Wolverhampton, so obviously you've got to join in a bit. Really good players, amazing manager in Spirito. I love the stadium, it's a really nice vibe. Really energetic fans, really passionate fans from them. They play good football. Obviously, they've had 2 great seasons, Europa League. Hopefully, they win that and get in the Champions League, which would be tremendous. And I think they are deserving of the quality of great. So let's just go through the teams that are rubbish. We've got Watford. In bad, we've got Brighton and Crystal Palace. In all right, we've got Burnley, Everton, Newcastle, Norwich, Southampton, West Ham. In good, we've got Bournemouth, Man United, Sheffield United, Tottenham. In great, we've got Arsenal, Aston Villa, Chelsea, Leicester, Man City, and Wolverhampton Wanderers. And in elite, we've got Liverpool. Obviously, we're all going to have different opinions on this, so do leave your thoughts down below or create your own grading system and share it with us on Twitter and Instagram. Those are my opinions. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you would like to see more of these, please leave a like and subscribe and just tell us if you want more. Thank you guys for watching. Be sure to check out fatalgrips.com for those gaming accessories. Up the Villa with the pride of Villa. See you later, boys.